Today we are exploring the architecture of New York. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an exciting episode. New York is full of surprises, from hidden courtyards to secret gardens. When the Dutch settled Manhattan in the 1620s, they brought with them a mania for brick. The resulting buildings were sturdy but not terribly inspiring. And so it was up to the architects of the 1820s to create something more fitting for America's great metropolis. Enter the Greek Revival style, a stately and optimistic design vocabulary that would come to define the city's skyline for decades. As we begin our architectural tour of New York, it's important to note that much of the original fabric of the city was lost due to fires and, well, a certain iconic ship. You know the one I mean. Luckily, we have detailed drawings of some of the buildings that did survive so that we can get a sense of what early New York looked like. One thing you might notice is that these early buildings were constructed almost entirely out of brick. And for good reason. The Dutch were obsessed with brick. In fact, when they first arrived, they named their settlement New Amsterdam after the city of Amsterdam. And they chose the site because it reminded them of the flat, marshy lands near their homeland. So, of course, they built in brick as well. While the sturdy material was practical, it wasn't exactly conducive to creating grand civic spaces. And so it was up to the architects of the 1820s to step in and create a new design vocabulary that was stately and optimistic, a style that would come to be known as Greek Revival. To understand Greek Revival, we have to travel across the ocean to Athens. But luckily for us, Thomas Jefferson beat us there by penning his observations on the Athenian capital in the form of a book called The Description of Athens. In it, he waxes poetic about the glorious past of the city and its magnificent ruins, calling the surviving structures, quote, the most perfect pieces of architecture which have come down from antiquity. Jefferson became enamored with the style and hired architect Robert Hooke to design for him a home inspired by the ancient Greeks. The result was the University of Virginia, a composition of stately neoclassical buildings unified by a central colonnade, and it was here that the seeds of Greek Revival were planted. Jefferson's personal passion project became hugely influential, setting the stage for Greek Revival to take over the rest of the country, including New York. Take, for instance, the Astor Library, designed by John Canfield and Richard Upjohn in 1854. This was one of the first great works of Greek Revival architecture in New York City. The design was heavily influenced by the earlier work of Thomas Jefferson at the University of Virginia. The architects used white marble for the lower level with brownstone for the upper floors, giving the building a lighter appearance. The main facade is composed of stately Corinthian columns, which are fluted and coupled together at the top. Above them, a simple triangular pediment is ornamented with a vase and laurel branches. The building was considered so grand upon its completion that it was designated as a landmark in 1965. While Greek Revival would go on to dominate the New York skyline for decades, the style eventually gave way to Romanesque Revival in the late 19th century. To learn more about this fascinating period of architecture, make sure to check out the series, which is all about the high and low points of historic New York architecture. And while you're at it, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons so you'll never miss an exciting episode. In the years following the American Revolution, New York was stuck between its humble Dutch past and its aspirations to become a great American city. But with the rise of Greek Revival, the city's architects were able to marry the practicality of the Dutch with a new classical vocabulary, ushering in an era of stately skyscrapers and monumental public buildings that would set the tone for the rest of the country. So what do you think? Are you a fan of Greek Revival architecture? Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments section. Join us as we explore some of the most fascinating architecture in the world.